Hello everyone and welcome to the Enemies Ilia, and today we're going to be ranking these specific characters from the Tower of God webtoon series. Why these specific characters? Well, they all play a significant role within the Floor of Death story arc. And I thought, why don't we rank their performance in that arc and put them into these 5 categories. We've got amazingly good, we've got good, average, tell me more, and disappointing. So without further ado, let's take a look. Starting with Anna. Anna, I'm putting in average. Actually, you know what? I'm putting her in good. The reason being is, I actually thought her introduction was amazing into the series, and it helped add more gravity, impact, effect, whatever you want to say, to the story that Graham Jihad was talking about. I don't think we're ever going to see her again, so I can't put her in Tell Me More, although I am intrigued by the character, very much so. It's just, you know what? The impact, the weight this character put into Graham Jihad's story just makes me really invested in this character and really enjoyed it. So she's going in good. Next up is Arlene. Now if I didn't have a Tell Me More section, I would put her in amazingly good, because as captivating introductions go, this one is up there, because this character is a character I'm very much invested in after hearing what Graham Jihad said. I want to know if it's true. I want to know what happened, what transpired, everything that goes on. I just want to learn more about Arlene. So I'm very much okay putting her in Tell Me More, but if I didn't have that category, it would definitely be in amazingly good. Now for Bam's character, I'm putting him in... I'm going to put him in good. Now, Bam to me hasn't been a brilliant protagonist in that particular arc. Like, he was very good, don't get me wrong. He was a good character. I like his liberating speech to Rachel, basically saying, I know what you're up to. I know what you've been trying to do. I know what you have been doing all this time. And, actually, you know what? We're bumping him up. Why not? We're bumping him up. The reason as to why I've just done that is simply because Bam had to process all this new information that he was being told. And you know what? He still felt like the same person that we knew. By the end of the arc, nothing particularly really changed, even though he learned so much more. And you know what? I'm not going to include stuff that happens after the Floor of Death, but Bam's character is slowly but surely becoming a more and more interesting character as we go through each arc. Now we got Black March and Green April, and honestly, I'm putting them in good as well. The Floor of Death wasn't the best story arc in terms of the series as a whole collective, but it has some very interesting details and lore about, like, the princesses, the weapons, and other key aspects that we're going to learn more about in the future. It was a great setup arc, just teasing us with information about things to come, but at the same time, it did expand on the lore within the tower. And you know what? The Black March and Green April, they gave us hints, they had great personality, and they had some fun interactions with Yura Jihad. So, I'm all for them. And I really do like their characters just in general, so we're putting them in good. Boro is disappointing. I've been saying in my reviews that Boro, Sashi Faker, I just wish they'll get gone, because they've fulfilled their purpose by, you know, doing the Hell Train. Although the Hell Train isn't over, they just don't really add anything decent into the story at the moment. And it was the same here. Again, disappointing. In Dorsey, I'm putting her in good. Now normally if we're just ranking Dorsey just based on herself as a character, she would be amazingly good, even in the best. But unfortunately, she didn't really do a lot in this arc, but she did show some good development and improvement in her fighting skills, and she did also kind of give us a bit of things to kind of think about in terms of her interactions with the Graham Jihad at the end. So I'm putting her in good because she had a good showcasing for the most part. Just nothing too spectacular or outstanding. Enru, amazingly good. Like, this character, I do not think we're going to meet again. No matter how much I want it to happen, I don't think we're going to have a in-time Enru and Bam face-to-face sort of talk or discussion. You know what I mean. But at the same time, the way they portrayed the story, the way they executed it, the art, the visuals, the dialogue that accompanied with it, everything about that was just captivating, amazing, and it just makes you want to know what happens more in the past than what's actually happening in the present. Like, that's the way I got from it. Like, I wanted to know what happened to this character afterwards. So he played his impact correctly, and much like with Anna, I don't think we're going to see her again. So that's why I am not putting Enru in Tell Me More. I'm going to put him in Amazingly Good, because it was effective. It was captivating. It did what it was meant to do. Next up, we got Evan. I'm going to put him in average. He had quite a bit of sass, and he had some good interactions. He helped out Yuri a little bit, which was okay, I suppose. But yeah, he's going to be an average. He didn't really perform his duties as a guide that well. Now, Graham Jihad, I'm putting in Amazingly Good. She opened Pandora's box by giving us all of this information, all of this new story and lore, and giving us this breakdown of the process of the secret behind the Princess of Jihad and everything else like that. So, Graham Jihad, fantastic design, brilliant personality, and she just opened and expanded the tower a lot more. So her character was used magnificently within this arc. Next up, I'm putting the Ghost White Spirit thing in it. I really just didn't like him that much. Like, they didn't really serve too much of a purpose. Like, I get it. He gave Hokuni his eyes, which Hokuni can now see the future with. But again, nothing like that good. And this character as well, disappointing. Like, he managed to take down Rachel for a minute, which probably makes him better than most characters on this list, because the fans want to see Rachel gone and dead. But at the same time, I just didn't like him. I don't know. I just, personally speaking, nothing really captivated me about this character. Next, Gustang. Amazingly good. Now, the reason why I'm putting him here, not because she's, you know, some leader of one of the 10 great families. Yes, he is. He's an amazing character. He's smart, intellectual. Not because he saved Rachel, because most people don't like that. But the reason being is he absolutely squashed White. Hoquin, White, whatever you want to call him, got most of his power back. He ate loads of souls and got incredibly powerful. But this guy was just like, yeah, go ahead. Go on, you can leave. Like, knowing that White could not leave at all. And just basically watched him as he kept going up and down, up and down, up and down. And just kept referring to him as a bug and destroyed White mentally. Well, let's not spoil anything that's going to happen in the next arc, but you kind of think that White is destroyed mentally. But then again, this character's first introduction into the story that way, he just came in with an overwhelming presence and an aura that you could feel as a reader, and that was just awesome. Next up, Helljoe. I'm putting Helljoe in average, because, to be honest, I didn't put, oh yeah I did. To be honest, as a villain, he's not really that good of a villain. Like, I like the story with his character. Like, you know, he was a character that wanted to do good, he tried to do good, but the people of the Floor of Death didn't want that. They just wanted something that was traditional and something they knew. So Helljoe basically just like went evil, went all tyranny, and that is how he spiraled into his dark path. He didn't have a mentor figure like Ulrich Mizuno to help him with this power that he obtained. And you know what? I like that aspect from the character, but as a villain goes, I didn't like him very much. Like, when you compare him to things like White, Karaka, Hung Sung-yu, or what was her name? I've forgotten her name now. The girl on the name Hunt Station arc. Caesar. When you compare him to those sort of characters, this character doesn't match up to their level in any way, shape or form. So throughout this arc, I'm going to have to just call him average. He was enjoyable because of that backstory and what his character was trying to represent, but the way that they executed his character and the way that it kind of came across, it was kind of like a spoiled brat. Not going to lie. Design's averagely good as well. I like the design. It looks quite demonic. It looks pretty cool. Next up, Hokuni. Hokuni, I'm putting at the bottom of good. Again, you would imagine that he would have a lot of focus within this arc, being that he's from the Floor of Death. But at the same time, it was cool seeing how him and Bam interacted, and it was cool seeing how, you know, he learned about the fact he got his eyes and why he got his eyes. I was expecting something a bit more from him though. Like a bigger moment. Something explosive, but nothing. Harian. I'm going to put in good, but at the top. She kept us guessing as to what her real motivation was. We didn't actually know if we could trust her within this arc. And we had grown to trust her throughout the entirety of the series so far, which is what made me really interested and intrigued about this character. Because I was like, hold on a minute, is she meant to be on our side? Why is she acting so suspicious and so fishy? But then, of course, we learned the reason. And you know what? The reason is totally up her alley. It's totally within her character's sort of, logical thinking that she would do what she did in this arc. So, you know what? She was really good because psychologically she kept me guessing. Kuraka. No, sorry, Kuraka fans, but this Slayer is staying in good. Unfortunately, he was actually really good. I like the menacing aura that he brought with him. I like the serious vibes that it came with this character. But I was just thinking back, and the only thing I can actually remember Kuraka doing, like realistically throughout this entire arc, is getting squashed by one finger of Ulrich Masono. Like, that's the main thing that I remember about Kuraka from this arc. And when you add that to the other good things that he's done, unfortunately it dilutes him down to the just good category. Well, he's an amazing character all around anyway, but unfortunately this arc was not the best one for him. Khun, Aguero, whatever you want to call him. Now, I like development. I like seeing characters grow and how they interact and how they develop and process. Khun's character did just that within this arc. He managed to grow with his lighthouse keeping skills in learning Endercore. Granted, he needs Beta in there to do it, but at the same time, the confidence, the arrogance that oozed out this character throughout this arc was great. I'd like him to have done a little bit more, but it is the Bam show, so I guess like majority of this arc was Bam learning about his past and learning about the lore of the tower and the 13-month weapons. But the moments that they gave Khun to shine, he shone brightly. So amazingly good for me there. Ulrich Masono. Yeah. I'm not going to put him in amazing. I'm not going to put him in amazingly good because we know Ulrich Masono was already amazing before going into this arc. But based on what he did in this arc, I thought was really, really good. Not quite amazingly good, just really good. The reason being is, yes, he showed just how much powerful he is when comparing himself to Kuraka and Hulkling. Defeating him with one finger, he had a power restraint on him for most of it. As well as the fact is, he did outclass Heljo and tried to like sort of, teach him a lesson and kind of bring him back to his senses. But at the same time, when you look at Masono from a logical, thought-provoking point of view, his intentions may have been nice and polite when he gave Heljo the Red Terrestra, but at the same time it was kind of dumb and silly. So I'm going to put him in just good. Rachel. This is the only list you'll probably see Rachel beat Dorsey. But Rachel actually was pretty decent in this arc. I like the fact that she did come across as a whining child that just was like, oh, Bam gets everything. I want a chance. But actually, what she did do... actually, I can't do that. What she did do was really entertaining, really cool to see. Her dialogue was kind of thought-provoking as well. So I'll put her in the good category. Now, I'll put in the Red Witch here because I just really love her design. I don't know why, but her smile is just amazing, and I just like the aesthetic of the character. I like the fact that she also adds to the lore of the Red Witches, so I'm putting her in the bottom of good. She really should be an average, but I can't bring myself to do that. Sashi Faker! We'll go average. The reason why I'm putting Sashi at the bottom of average and not in disappointing is because Sashi actually helped and contributed to the plan. He actually created vines to go up the tower and actually got them in. So, Sashi's doing something! Hooray! Now V is again, tell me more, will you become my friend? I want to know what happened to him. I want to know if he really did kill himself, or, you know, if that was some sort of mistranslation or a lie or something Grum Jahad wasn't telling Bam. But yeah, super intrigued by this character. V and Arlene are two characters that have just come crashing into the story within this arc, and they've taken the fandom by storm by just making them think and making them speculate and wonder who these two characters are and sort of how they came to be in the positions that they're currently in. Well, I guess dead is the positions they're in, but you know what I mean. White. Average. Now, Hoquin White is an amazing antagonist. He's brilliant. Don't get me wrong here. Don't type your hate comments just yet. But, let's be real. He didn't really do anything within this arc, if I'm honest with you, did he? So, apart from getting squashed by Gustang and humiliated, he didn't really do much. So, White, unfortunately, you gotta go average, buddy. Meta. I quite like Meta's character. I'm gonna go average. Yuha. Again, she didn't really do anything. She was nice to see in the chapter and in the arcs. But yeah, nothing really special or spectacular about her. She didn't shine like the stars, she sparkles. That's the disappointing thing, but at the same time, she was still enjoyable. Yuri Jahad. Yuri. Right, we're putting Yuri at amazingly good, simply because, well, she's amazing. No one can take that away from her. At the same time, I like the fact that she was just really comedic, really funny. Again, added to the lore about the princesses and interacted with the Green April and Black March. Those were some fun interactions, and she displays some amazing power. So, can't really fault her for that. So all in all, those are my thoughts on the characters within the Tower of God, Floor of Death story arc. Now I have missed out, of course, the Guardian, which if he was on this list, I'll just put him in average. As well as the fact that I missed out the kind of servants that Heljo kind of has under his leadership, or rules over, I should say. And honestly, I couldn't actually remember the names, so that's why I couldn't find the images for them. But they would be disappointing, because, again, they just got, like, foddered and destroyed. So, it is what it is. Nevertheless, though, the most disappointing character within this arc was, of course, Boro. And the most amazingly good character from this arc, the best character from this arc, in my opinion, was Grum Jahad. Just for the lore and the kind of expansion of the tower she brought with her introduction. So, let me know your thoughts and opinions. If you wanted to tell me your favourite character within the comment section within this arc, then of course do so as well. I'll be interested to see who you have as your favourite from this particular arc. Now, yeah, like I said, hopefully you enjoyed. If you have, hit that like button. This is a rambly outro, but I'll see you next time. Subscribe if you want to as well. You know, you don't have to, but it is free to do so. And I will be continuing my journey up the tower with my reviews with the series next time. Have a great day. Alligator, Matane. Goodbye.